Hi guys, this is week 7 Project Life and I am using the Citrus Twist Life Crafted kit for March. Now, I've already used a fair chunk of this kit. This is the first time I've actually sat down to do a spread of Project Life with it. I've been going totally crazy in my Life Crafted album, so I don't have a whole lot left, but I've got enough to do this fairly sparse looking week here. There's been not a lot of photo taking happening, so I'm gonna have to add a few filler cards, and I figured it's been quite a while since I've put any sequins on a Project Life spread, so I am definitely gonna do that. I grabbed those sequins from the sequinologist, and I'm gonna use the packaging from the 3x4 cards in the kit just to create a really simple little shaker card to go in there. So you can see here I've just pulled out a few of the cards that I've got left. There are some really beautiful cards this month, so I had more than enough left to do this spread here. And I just need to add one piece of the 6x8 paper, so I chose this really light, it's white and yellow sort of. I'm going to call it a grid. It's a circular grid. I don't know what you call that, but I'm going to call it a grid. So I'm going to use that. I could easily just split this sheet in half and have two 4x6 cards, but I kind of want the circle, the middle of the circle piece to be off-centered. So I'm awkwardly trimming that out so that the middle of that circle piece is going to sit to the bottom and the right of my photo. So you can see here, it does mean I've got a little bit of wastage, but like I said, I've got some really good use out of this kit this month, so I don't mind trimming that down the way I want it rather than the most economical way. These really cute little chipboard circles, and I'm just going to punch out a few of these. I really struggle with these chipboard sheets, getting the wee pieces out, so most of the time I find it easier to sort of press them through to the back, pop them out like little chipboard pieces, and then peel the sticker off them later. So I've picked out 3. I won't end up using 3, but I've picked out 3. This card I really loved, and I had to ignore my hoarding tendencies because the back says coffee and adventure. So you know I'm going to have plenty of opportunity to use that card as well. But the awesome thing about this kit is it's also available in digital form, so I don't really have to worry about ever running out. I can have as many coffee and adventure cards as I'd like. The kit always comes with this sheet of labels, and I was so impressed this month that they were like rainbow ordered, so I decided to make a wee feature of them on my title card because that 4x6 card already had that one printed label on it. So I'm just organizing them in rainbow order down the card. Now obviously I didn't fit all of them on there, but I kind of like the color scheme that I've got without that darker red and the darker green, so I just purposefully picked out a few of the colors to leave off it, and just used the ones that I have got here just in a kind of rainbow order. Obviously it's not perfect, but and I'm not sticking them down like one after the other. I'm kind of offsetting them so that some are on top and some are underneath, just to give a bit more interest, I guess. And this is going to give me a place for my date stamping, but also I just really like it as a title card. It's a really cool feature. I did struggle a tiny bit because the card is very light, and these are the pretty white alphas that are in the kit, so they weren't going to stand out that much, and I wasn't sure what to do. I kind of was just a bit lost, so I carried on and just did my date stamping anyway. At this point I thought I could stamp a title, or maybe just handwrite the week number. Normally I would do something like maybe stitch the number on, but to be honest I couldn't really be bothered, so I needed a different solution. And then I thought I'll just dig through my stash of alphas, because there are a million in my stash of alphas, and I pulled out these wood veneer. They're like gold embossed wood veneer from Pink Fresh. I've had them for a really long time, i.e. I've been hoarding them for a really long time, and I decided just to go ahead and use them. The gold looks a bit odd sort of sitting on its own there, but I do have a plan for adding a bit more gold to the spread, so I think the gold works nicely in the end. I was just really lightly putting them down to see how much room they actually took up. The card has a little grid on it, so it's super easy to line up and get it straight and stick them down. You see that E that's split off? I'm definitely not going to waste that. I will glue that back onto the base because there's no way I'm wasting these. Now this is where I'm going to make my little shaker card and also bring a bit more gold in. You'll see in 1 second. So this is just the packaging from the 3x4 cards in the kit. I just trim off the top so it removes the sticky flap bit, and then I trim the side down just a little bit so that it's just slightly smaller than 3x4, so it's going to fit in your pocket, but I still have kind of like this half pocket. Then I just fill it up with sequins and stitch around all 4 sides, and I did use a gold thread, so that's where I'm going to bring a little bit more gold in, and there is some gold in that sequin mix, so I'm just going to continue on this little gold theme with some more gold stitching on some of my cards and the photos. This one's really hard to see, but I did stitch all the way around the photo with the gold thread. I have a real tough time stitching with metallic thread, but one trick I did read about the other day was to use an actual specific metallic thread needle, which I went and got. I didn't think how could a needle make that big a difference, but I tell you what, it made all the difference. Now I have literally no trouble stitching with metallic thread. So I guess it's those simple things that do make a difference. So if you struggle with metallic thread or want to have a go, I would definitely recommend getting a specific needle for that. It made life so much easier. I went through that whole die cut pack and I've only pulled out 2, and I'm only going to end up using 1, and that was just a little off cut of another die cut that I had kept, and I just put that underneath the circle chipboard before I placed that down on the photo, and it's kind of like I've made half a cluster, and it's not sitting well with me, and I wondered about adding a sentiment stamp because that chipboard already had a sentiment on it. I ended up going for the little, it's like a little row of triangles, kind of like arrows in the stamp set there, and I'm just going to end up repeating that a few times. So, I mean, you know I love repetition in these things. I've grabbed these chipboard circles, so I've got 3, and I'm really pleased with that, so I'm going to repeat these arrows again on here, but like I said, I don't end up using the 3rd circle, and it does kind of irritate me that I've got 2 rather than 3. So having these little arrow stamps repeated 3 times sort of still helps to have that repetition, even though I haven't repeated the entire sort of embellishment cluster. I've got these tiny word stickers, and I knew there was one on here. This one says make mine a double, which was especially appropriate. I'm pretty sure that the reason I took this photo is because this was my first full week back at work for the year. I mean, that seems pretty bad to have made it to the middle of February and not have done an entire full week of work. That's just how it worked out this year with holidays and babies and sick dogs, and it just worked out this way. So I was definitely needing some coffee at this point, so that make mine a double worked out nicely. I added a couple of other stickers there, and you could see I was trying to make that chipboard work. The circle, it didn't. I added the stamps instead, and I'm kind of happy with that. It gives me my repetition, my 3 of something. But you can see I'm going to try desperately to add more chipboard, more chipboard to this spread. I actually really like this the way it is, and this is the way that my spread will end up staying, but I just figured I would leave this in and show you how much indecision there was afterwards. It seemed like it came together too easy. And I really kept trying to add these, it's like a wood grain heart, and shuffling cards around and just trying to force it, and it was not working. So look, I'm even going to go for the 3rd. I'm going to find a 3rd chipboard shape to try and use, and I don't need to because it actually looks fine the way it is. This is my last attempt, I promise. So there we go. That's when I finally said enough, time to stop. This week is done. This is an awesome kit. Like I said, I've used nearly all of it, so I will leave the link for you down below to the Citrus Twist shop. If you are a subscriber, I am doing one of the workshop videos this month, so that will be available from the 7th. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below, and if you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!